Today in a Dr. Phil exclusive.
The mystery surrounding a missing Georgia mother deepens.
A missing mom, her 2-year-old son found wandering alone in a parking lot.
Wearing nothing but a t-shirt and a dirty diaper.
What the baby could have witnessed.
She would never leave her son unattended. This is like a horror film.
And what clues does her phone hold?
Somebody knows something here. Today, the mystery surrounding a missing Georgia mother deepens. It has been almost 2 weeks since 21-year-old Leila Cavett allegedly got in her car with her 2-year-old son and drove more than 10 hours from her home in Georgia to Florida, nearly 700 miles away, and then simply disappeared. Her family says Leila has no friends or family in Florida, and they have absolutely no idea what she was doing there. In fact, they had no idea she was even missing until her little boy was found wandering around outside a Florida apartment complex alone, wearing nothing but a t-shirt and a dirty diaper.
The search for a little boy's family deepens in Broward County. The child was found over the weekend wandering the streets alone.
A mystery that spans from North Georgia to South Florida.
This playful little boy, who appears to be 2 or 3 years old, was found outside an apartment complex near Pembroke Road and Southwest 68th Avenue, wandering alone Sunday morning.
The boy was found wearing nothing but a t-shirt and a diaper. His mother is still missing tonight.
A woman who lives nearby, Ebony Williams, spotted him.
It's heartbreaking.
Called police.
He looked thirsty. I had a bottle of water. I gave him the bottle. He knew how to, drink out of it pretty good.
How long had he been there? Did anyone see someone drop him off? Police stumped at first. It took them 2 days, but they tentatively identified the boy's missing mother, 21-year-old Leila Cavett.
Miramar police said Cavett was last seen driving this white Chevy with a maroon or red tailgate. On the window of the car, there's a baby on board sticker.
The family of a mother whose toddler was found wandering alone is demanding answers tonight.
It's been more than a week since 2-year-old Camden was found wandering alone outside an apartment complex in Miramar. 9 days later, there are still no answers about how he got there or what happened to his mom, Leila Cavett.
Every day that passes, we in more and more danger, and we just don't even know it. We have no answers. A single part of me has lost faith. God is going to bring her home. She's perfectly fine. I know she's probably scared as ever right now, but I'm not losing hope.
Today, could new details about Leila's past provide clues about what happened to her? Leila's family traveled to Florida determined to find her themselves. We'll talk to them today. Joining me now from Florida is Leila's mother, Tina, and her brother, Curtis Cavett. Tina, Curtis, thank you so much for joining me, and I am so sorry for the circumstances. I know you must be just absolutely distraught and beside yourselves. So, Tina, let me start with you. Tell me how you're feeling and what you know about what's going on.
First of all, Dr. Phil, I just want to say thank you for giving our family the opportunity to come here and tell Leila's story. It really means a lot to us.
Well, you're welcome, and it's my honor to do it. We want to shine a bright light on this and do everything we can to find her.
Yes. Like you said, Curtis and I jumped on a plane immediately as soon as we found out that Camden had been found. And we've been searching day in and day out.
When you found out that she was missing, it was just because her son had been found, correct?
Yes. I thought it was some kind of sick joke because I know my daughter would never leave her son unattended.
Right. And how long have you been down there now?
I've really lost track of time. I think we've been here almost 9 days.
Oh my gosh. And Curtis, have you learned anything new since you got there?
No, not really. We've been just taking the same whereabouts and same info that police have, and we've been trying to take on our own mission and go out in the streets of Florida and try to find her.
Okay, now you guys live in Alabama, correct?
Correct.
And she was living in Atlanta, Georgia?
She was living in Georgia with my grandmother, yes, sir.
Okay. And as far as the two of you know, she didn't know anyone in the entire state of Florida, correct?
We have no friends. She has no ties. There shouldn't be no. We have no reason why she was in Florida.
Wow. And what have the police told you about her disappearance?
Well, basically right now, it's just a whole bunch of red tape, it seems. We're trying to get warrants for CCTV and just doing the best they can.
Now, she drove herself there, correct? In a white pickup?
Yes, a white GMC pickup, dual cab with a red tailgate.
Okay, so this was a white GMC 3500, I believe, pickup, and it's a dual cab, a stretch cab, and it has a red tailgate. So I want to repeat that in case anybody remembers anything, remembers seeing this. And so her son was found in this apartment complex, but this was not near where the pickup was ultimately found, correct?
Yes, it was 2 miles away from where the lady found Camden.
Okay, so the pickup was 2 miles away from where the child was found.
Correct.
So there's no way, he's 2 years old, correct?
Right. So there's no way he went from where the truck was found to the apartment.
Yeah, no way he could have done that.
There's major highways separating those two locations.
Let me just ask the two of you, what do you think has happened here?
To be honest, we have a lot of different things, but we can't even narrow it down to one because, like I said, we don't know why she was in Florida. Right when we seen the post of our nephew, we came right here immediately, and we really don't have any reasons or any
indications. There's nothing that indicates to us why she would have just came down here. So
right.
We believe that she had met somebody online that she had came to plan to see.
Yeah. Now, we know that in the past, and certainly not currently, that she had some drug history, but there's no indication that there's any drugs involved in this incident whatsoever, correct?
No, we've definitely ruled out anything drug related.
Certainly, we know people that are involved in drugs don't drive that far to get them. They can go a block away to get drugs. You think that she may have been going to meet someone, a friend, someone that she had met or knew, correct?
Possibly.
Yeah, possibly, maybe, a man online or something.
Okay. And was she registered on any online dating sites that you know of?
Well, that's what we're trying to find out right now. We have warrants for all her social medias so that the FBI can get that information.
Had she mentioned anybody, or do you have any information as to who she might have been going to meet?
We don't. Well, not as of yet.
Okay, and I do understand that your attorney has indicated that the FBI has said that there was a man that she may have met that was questioned and then released that's now in Texas. And that's what your attorney has told you. You guys haven't met or know this person, but that's what your attorney had to say. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right, well, we'll continue to think our way through this. We're going to take a short break here. Coming up, was Leila really spotted by police on a Fort Lauderdale beach in the company of a mystery man? That's a question that's out there. We'll talk about that when we come back. That's next.
Coming up.
It sounds like she may have been planning this. So how did she get to Florida? Do you know how she would have gotten that money?
And later.
This is like a horror film. It still doesn't seem real to me right now.
We now return to Missing Mom. Where is Leila Cavett? A Dr. Phil exclusive.
Ebony Williams, a mother of 4, was the one that found the little boy standing by himself near the busy Southwest 68th Avenue.
I asked him, where's your mommy? And he kind of just pointed like everywhere. And I reached out my hand for him. He grabbed my hand and I just walked around the complex hoping that I would find somebody looking for him or calling his name.
We're back talking about the missing 21-year-old mother who has not been seen or heard from in approximately 2 weeks. Her 2-year-old son was found wandering scared and alone, wearing only a t-shirt and a diaper. Her family has no idea why the young mom may have gone to Florida. They say she has no friends or family there, and police say they believe she could be in grave danger. Now, I'm talking to Tina, Lila's mother, and her brother Curtis, and we're trying to figure out why she would have gone to Florida and what may have happened to her while she was there. We were just talking about the fact that she may have gone down there to meet someone that she had connected with over the internet. What makes you think that's what may have taken her to Florida, may have caused her to go to Florida?
Well, there was a post made on Facebook that was a screenshot of a post that she had made. And then on the top of her phone, in one of her tabs, you can see a dayna. And that's when the first indication have drawn that she had met somebody in Florida, because we seen on one of her posts that she was on a dating site. And I'll have to go back to that post and see which dating site. But
were there a lot of back and forth between she and this individual that you could see?
I'm not sure. I never seen any conversation between him, her, whoever.
Okay. And was she dating anyone else at the time that you knew of?
Right. That's why we were thinking that, because she wasn't currently seeing anyone.
Okay, so she didn't have a boyfriend or anything. And did she have any friends in Georgia that she had talked to or said that she was leaving? Have you contacted her neighbors or friends in Georgia and learned anything from them?
Well, she's been spending a lot of time with my brother since she's been in Georgia, and she had mentioned in passing to him, like, oh, I'm gonna go to Florida. And he just thought she was playing, because he knew that, you know, she didn't have any money to get to Florida.
Right. And so how did she get to Florida? Because the pickup that I've seen the pictures of had the stretch cab and the double wheels in the back, so I'm guessing it didn't get great mileage. So that meant it took a fair amount of gas money to get down there. How do you know how she would have gotten that money?
I do know for a fact that my brother had given her $40. And then we had saw that she was making posts in the days before selling things on Facebook Marketplace. So we think that there's a possibility she was using that outlet to raise gas money. But we know for a fact that she had only gas money.
Right. So, all right, so she got some money from your brother, then she was selling some personal items on the internet. So she was, it sounds like she may have been planning this for at least a short period of time to get enough money to go down there.
Right. But when I say that, just like a 48-hour period.
Right, a few days to get at least some traveling money.
Right.
Okay, and when she left, did your brother know she was leaving?
No. See, but that's what I was saying. He thought she was just, you know, just saying like, oh, I'm gonna go to Florida, you know, like she's 21. He wasn't taking her seriously.
And was she living with your brother?
No, but they had been spending a lot of time together.
Right, and where was she living at the time?
We believe that she was living with my mother. We're starting to possibly think there may have been another location she had been crashing at.
Okay, like with a friend, couch surfing or something?
Right.
Okay, but she always had her 2-year-old son with her.
Oh no, she's never left him, ever.
Right, so if she was staying with a friend or crashing somewhere, she had her son with her.
Right there with her.
Right.
She breastfeeds.
So she's still breastfeeding him?
Right.
Okay, all right. And whenever he was found, he had on a t-shirt, diapers, and he was barefooted. Did you see pictures or see him personally at the time? Was he clean? Was he dirty? What kind of condition was he in?
Well, the footage that we saw, he wasn't dirty. Like, he hadn't been out.
So maybe he hadn't been out there for a long time.
Right, that's my belief. There's no way he could have been out there because he wasn't sweaty, and it was, you know, we're in Florida.
Right. What time of day did they find him?
Around in between 8 and 9 a.m. The footage that we saw basically looked like him on a regular day waking up.
That is really interesting, particularly with him wandering around like that. We're going to talk some more about this. Coming up, Lila's sister joins us. What did she know that made her think her little sister could be in terrible danger? We're going to talk about that next.
Coming up.
Now, you posted on Facebook that you really feared that something like this would happen to Lila. What did you mean by that?
We now return to Missing Mom. Where is Lila Cavett? A Dr. Phil exclusive.
The sisters of missing mom Lila Cavett on Tuesday made the nearly 12-hour drive from Jasper, Alabama to Miramar to speak with detectives.
It is definitely out of character for her to be in Florida. We're in Alabama. She lives in Georgia. If it's not those two states, we don't understand why she would be here for sure.
Police need your help. They believe this woman could be in danger, and they're concerned for her safety.
If you are okay, please let somebody know.
Lila Cavett has been missing for almost 2 weeks now, ever since she took a mystery road trip from her home in Georgia to Florida, where her family says she was spotted with an unknown man. Now, Gina Lewis is the one who discovered that her sister was missing after someone texted her a photo of her nephew, Camden. She had no idea that it was an actual police photo that she was looking at, and that investigators were trying to figure out the identity of the then mystery toddler. Now, Gina joins us now from Alabama. So, Gina, thank you so much, and I'm so sorry for the circumstances of meeting you.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm glad to do it because listen, somebody knows something here, right? Somebody has seen something, somebody knows something, and maybe they don't even know what they know, but I think by keeping a bright light over this, maybe somebody will go, wow, I know what they're talking about, and I'm going to come forward. So
Exactly.
what were your original thoughts when you saw Camden's picture?
It was just surreal, really. I couldn't believe what I was reading. At first, I just thought it was just a picture of him. I was just like, oh, he looks so cute. And then when I started reading it, I was like, oh, wow, this is way bigger than I thought.
And when did it hit you, just at a gut level, that, uh-oh, something bad happened to your sister?
Right. Immediately when I read the post, I was like, oh, wow. First of all, I don't know why she's in Florida. Second of all, she would never leave her son unattended.
Now, you posted on Facebook that you really feared that something like this would happen to Lila. What did you mean by that?
Well, I didn't mean that something bad would happen to her. I was just saying, like, as the oldest of 6, I've pretty much made it my mission and my dedication in life to make sure my siblings are okay. And it's like, this is like a horror film. It still doesn't seem real to me right now.
Oh, I can well imagine. And again, I'm so sorry that you're having to live through this. It's got to be a horrible couple of weeks for you. You two didn't have the best relationship recently. What had come between you?
Just life, really. She was living with me for a good period of time, and we just clash a lot because I was always working and she wasn't, and that was really just that. It wasn't nothing like detrimental. It's just sibling.
Well, I grew up with 3 sisters, so I totally get what you're talking about. Now, you had Camden in your care for a while, so describe him. What's he like as a child?
He's definitely very outgoing. He's extremely smart. He's known how to say his ABC since he was 1 year old. He loves his mom. He loves to eat. And he loves Baby Shark mostly.
Right. And when was the last time that you actually spoke to your sister?
The last time that we spoke to her was on the 17th, July 17th.
Okay. And is it like her personality-wise to make a plan? It sounds like for a couple of days she was selling some things, getting some money together, getting some money from her uncle to load up and head out of state to go meet someone. Does that sound like her?
I mean, it does and it doesn't at the same time. Like, she's an adult and she has made choices to move states before, but she's always told us that she was going to go. That was the biggest question. Like, she never mentioned it at all that she was traveling to Florida to anyone in the family.
So what surprised you was that nobody knew about it?
Correct. Even that she just didn't ask for money or anything.
But it doesn't surprise you that she would go meet someone that she had only known on the internet on a...
Oh, no, that definitely surprises me. I don't know her to do anything like that at all.
Okay, so that's out of character for her.
Correct.
But a lot of people do that. I mean, they meet somebody on the internet and they get charmed and they say, well, I'll go meet them. And we don't know that that's what's happened here, but it certainly is on the short list of considerations. So
right, it would just be weird for her to do that. And even if she didn't say something to the family, I've spoken to all her close friends. She didn't mention that to any of her friends.
Okay, so you have talked to her friends and she wasn't telling anyone, oh, hey, I've met Prince Charming online.
Oh, no.
And he's in Florida and I'm going to go meet him in person.
No. One of her friends that I've known had the last contact with her was just 2 days prior to the last time that she was seen, and she never mentioned anything like that to them.
And this is when she was apparently selling things to get the money to go.
Correct.
Okay,
She
very
still
interesting.
didn't mention it.
Okay, well, we're going to take a short break here. We'll be right back.
Coming up.
What did the FBI tell you about a man she was allegedly seen with? Is he a person of interest?
Missing Mom. Where is Leila Cavett? A Dr. Phil exclusive continues.
21-year-old Leila Cavett was reported missing after her 2-year-old son Camden was found wandering around alone in a Florida parking lot wearing only a t-shirt and a dirty diaper. Now, the little boy, the one person who may have witnessed what happened to his mother, is in foster care, and Leila's family is worried he is scared and alone and does not understand what is happening. Now, they've actually hired attorney Javarin D. Buckley to help them sort out the future of this child. Now, Javarin joins us now. Thank you so much for being here and also for helping this family and this young child who must be just overwhelmed right now by what's happening. So thank you for helping this family.
Yes, sir. You're welcome.
Tell me what you know about what is going on with the child right now and what you know about the investigation into the disappearance of the mother.
Well, we know, Dr. Phil, first, thank you for having me. We know that Ms. Leila arrived in Florida around July 26, 2020, and her last known location was in Hollywood, Florida, particularly at Walmart. And about 3 days later, July 29th, her son, 2-year-old Camden, was found in Miramar at some apartment complex called Edgewater Apartments. That's about roughly 2.5 to 3 miles away from the Walmart. We know he didn't get there on his own, and we're trying to figure out how he got there and where his mom is at the moment.
Well, that's just astounding that he was found that far away from the vehicle. What did the FBI tell you about a man she was allegedly seen with? And I think this was in Fort Lauderdale, is that correct?
That's correct. He's believed to be the boyfriend of a young lady who's currently here in Hollywood, Florida. They wouldn't release her name. He was, from my understanding, detained by the Hollywood Police Department and released. At the moment, he's in according to his Facebook status, he's in Texas.
Okay, so this girl was in the hospital, that's right, and knows that the man that we're talking about, this was her boyfriend?
Yes.
And did they question him?
They did. I'm not sure the line of questioning, but they did question him. There was not enough to keep him, which is why they let him go.
Okay. And so they do know his name?
They do.
Okay. But he's left Florida and gone to Texas. Do they know where he is at this point? I mean, if they want to talk to him further, can they?
They can. They do have his contact information.
Is he a person of interest or just someone that they've talked to?
It's just someone that they talk to.
I see. And how did the girl that's in the hospital get involved in this? What's her role in all this? Did she know Leila?
They're not sure if she knew her. They just know the guy that she was with knows her. She had refused to talk to the FBI the first time that they spoke with her, and I'm not sure if she spoke to them the second time that they went up.
Well, Javarin, it's from a psychological perspective, this 2-year-old, if he is known to family members, he lived with her sister for a period of time, so he knows her. If he has constructive knowledge of this, he's most likely to feel comfortable with family members and disclose what he knows to them rather than in a strange foster care setting. Is there a possibility of getting him back with family members?
Well, I know here in Florida, when it comes down to juvenile situations, they're very confidential in the proceedings. I can speak on the procedure, but not necessarily about Cam's case itself. I will say this, that it's generally speaking, because there's 3 different jurisdictions involved. We have Alabama, Georgia, and Florida. It won't be a walk in the park to get Cam with family. What has happened, though, is there was supposed to be a hearing this past Monday that didn't go because there was a motion that was filed that was not contested. And that motion was for visitation with the maternal side of the family, Miss Tina Kirby. And they were granted visitation via Zoom because of COVID reasons. But for now, we do have visitation with the family.
Well, that's certainly a step in the right direction, but I work an awful lot with DCFS and I work an awful lot in the foster care system. And I know that the first alternative that they always look to are blood relatives. If they can put a child with family safely, with healthy, good family members, that's their first alternative. So I would think that that would be something that would certainly be on the table, would be a possibility here, and it could also aid the investigation as well. I'm sure you agree with that.
I do, and I will say from the time I've spent with Miss Kirby and her family that the maternal family is the right family to put him with. That's the family that he's most familiar with. They've loved and cared for him since day one.
Well, maybe the court can appoint an ad litem who can evaluate that situation and make that recommendation. She's missing, and this could certainly be a person that, even though 2 years old, could come up with some information. We'll talk more about that after the break. So what did 2-year-old Camden see? I'll tell you what needs to happen when the toddler could be the only witness, in my opinion, when we come back.
Coming up.
Tina, Curtis, Gina, who is allowed to visit with the child over Zoom?
We all have so far.
Okay, and were you able to learn anything from the child about what happened?
We now return to Missing Mom. Where is Leila Cavett? A Dr. Phil exclusive.
We're back with the family of Leila Cavett, the missing mother who vanished mysteriously in Florida, leaving her 2-year-old son wandering all alone in a parking lot. Now, there have been reports of a mystery man spotted with Leila before she disappeared. Now, we have just received new breaking information that the man that has allegedly been interviewed by police and was released is not a person of interest or a suspect in the case, but just someone that has been talked to. One of the things that I'm really concerned about, Javarin and Gina, Curtis, Tina can weigh in here, is I'm just one of those people that believes from working in the system that the foster care system is broken And this little boy clearly has been traumatized if he's found wandering in a parking lot with his mother disappeared, and family is prepared and willing to take him, multiple jurisdictions or not. It seems two things are evident. Number one, there's family that's willing to take him, which is always the preference of the family court if that family is healthy and non-toxic for the child. And two, this child is probably the only one that has relevant information about what may have happened and is most likely to disclose that to family. What can we do to facilitate that happening?
Well, Dr. Phil, the way it works here in Florida, and I could just give a general description of it, it's a dependency hearing, and the court will appoint a guardian ad litem who is designated to represent the best interests of the child. And the court would also appoint an attorney ad litem. And the attorney ad litem represents the express interest of the child. And the express interest of the child is those interests that the child obviously can express. So what the attorney ad litem can do is they can substitute that, and they do what they think that he would want to do in a case like this. Right. And at the moment, that would be being with the maternal family.
And the state foster care spoke to the child over Zoom. Did he say anything helpful for the case as far as you know?
Not that I'm aware of.
And have you had the opportunity to speak with the child?
I have not.
Okay. Tina, Curtis, Gina, who is allowed to visit with the child over Zoom?
We all have so far.
Okay, and were you able to learn anything from the child about what happened?
Not particularly, no. He was just so excited. He was just talking a million miles. Like he was just talking. He didn't really say anything.
Did you ask him any pointed questions about where's your mommy or anything that could be helpful?
Honestly, I did not, because I just didn't want to upset him.
Right. And when is your next opportunity to have a visitation with the child?
They have not told me that. They just said that we're going to try to make it happen at least once a week.
Okay, so weekly, you'll have a chance to talk to him again, and maybe in the next opportunity you would get a chance to ask some questions. So, okay. Well, guys, listen, I appreciate everyone sharing what you know about this. And as I say, somebody out there has seen something. Somebody saw this pickup truck. Somebody saw Leila. Somebody saw this child getting out of the truck. Somebody saw something. And I just encourage you, please, to call the authorities. We've got numbers up on the screen right now. And you just can't give up hope. You just have to assume that this mother is out there, and we want to find her. We want to find her well. We want to find her if somebody is holding her, whatever the situation is. We want to get this mother back to her child and back to her family, and that's why we've spent this time doing this. Coming up, more missing women, all who went missing under suspicious circumstances. One mother vanished after a bike ride, and another went for a drive, never to return. Where could they be? We'll talk about that when we come back.
Coming up.
Natalie Jones disappeared 4th of July weekend.
It's been excruciating. We had no idea. It's literally like she was just picked up out of nowhere and vanished.
We now return to a Dr. Phil exclusive.
Leila isn't the only missing woman out there. We want to take the opportunity to see if any of you have any information about any of these missing women. Here are their stories.
A Walnut Creek woman has been missing since the middle of June after her trip to Joshua Tree National Park.
2 days later, Erica Lloyd's 2006 Honda Accord was found abandoned about 19 miles outside of Joshua Tree Village on Shelton Road.
Right now, the search continues for a local mother missing for nearly a year, and police say they suspect foul play.
What we know about Cecilia, she's a good mama. She would not have gone this period of time without making contact with their children.
She was 30 years old when she vanished.
49-year-old Suzanne Morphew has been missing for weeks. Neighbors say she went for a bike ride near her home on Mother's Day and never returned.
Tonight, a desperate search to find a missing mom of 2 boys who hasn't been seen in nearly 3 weeks. Natalie Jones disappeared 4th of July weekend.
It's been excruciating. We have no idea. It's literally like she was just picked up out of nowhere and vanished.
The family is desperate to find Jones, someone they say wouldn't just go silent.
Sandra Crispo's 3 grandsons are the light of her life. Her daughter knows she would never leave them.
Family members say she was last seen when a relative gave her a ride home. 2 days later, her home was empty, the lights were on, the back door was unlocked.
Crispo's last outgoing call was to her daughter, an ER nurse.
And I know that bad things happen to good people, and at this point, I feel like something bad happened to her. She essentially vanished.
If you have seen any of these women or have any information about them, please call the local authorities. The numbers are on your screen. Coming up, Leela's family is asking for your help. We'll tell you what to do if you have any information on this missing mother after the break. We've been talking about missing mom Leela Cavett, as well as some other missing mothers and women that have just seemingly disappeared off the face of the earth. Joining us now is Cavett family's grief counselor, Devonda Romanek. Devonda, the question I have for you is, what do you say to families that are held in limbo like this, sometimes for interminably seeming times where they don't have answers, they don't have closure, they're just stuck in that limbo state, wondering what has happened to their loved ones?
I recommend that they take self-care and also move along in the process of trying to find answers within themselves to help them to cope. Daily functioning is more important, moment by moment, day by day, them taking care of themselves versus focusing on only the missing person.
And it's so hard to do, but that is so important that they continue to put one foot in front of the other during that time. They have to continue to keep functioning day to day, is what you're saying.
Yes, as long as they're recognizing their symptoms and being more aware of how they're feeling and what's going on within them, I think that most times they turn out pretty functional.
Yeah. Well, God bless you for the work you do, because it would be easier to be doing something else. So God bless you for what you're doing. Gina, Curtis, Tina, thank you as family members in talking about this. And I know it's a very difficult time for you, and you've got great, excellent legal representation, and hopefully something will come to pass here, and we'll be praying for all of you to get good news here.
Thank you, Dr. Phil.
Thank you.
And to all of you watching, if you have any information about where Leela Cavett may be, call the Broward Crime Stoppers at 954-493-TIPS. You don't have to give your name, just call that number, or the Hollywood, Florida Police Department at 954-764-4357. And they'll be on drphil.com, so you can see them there as well. Police say Leela was last seen driving a mid to late 90s white Chevy Silverado 3500 pickup truck, which has a red tailgate and a baby on board sign on the passenger window. She's 5'4", 100 pounds, and has 2 tattoos, a Jesus fish and her son Camden's name in script on her arm. It's difficult to come and talk about this. It's so much easier to just kind of sit home and hurt, but to come and put a bright spotlight on this is so much harder. And Javarin D. Buckley is the attorney that is fighting for this family and for the child. And Javarin, we thank you so much as well. Sharing this story can help. Somebody knows something somewhere, and we all are praying for Leela's safe return. For more information about today's show, log on to drphil.com. We'll have information on the website. We will see you next time. Thank you for watching.
Bounce, bounce, all the girlies bounce. Take 'em to my house, turn the party out. Bounce, 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 all the girlies bounce. Take 'em to my house, turn the party out.
You warned me 1,000 times, memories can kill ya, but I didn't hear ya. I thought that I could fly, but woke up on the asphalt. I swear there was the last time. I've always been naive,